I feel like we acknowledge the Nigerian side a lot. We love it. Growing up, not so much for me, because in school, I remember when I was in class 6, one of my teachers, oh my God, like, I don't know, he saw on my registration documents or whatever, and we're in class, and he's like, I like it. And I was like, what does it mean? What's that?
Yeah.
My Nigerian name is Alake.
Oh.
And so Alake. And then everybody's like, what's
Who's
that? Your Nigerian name, Alake. I know, the man destroyed me, because even till today, some of my friends be like, yeah, look at. Listen, the guy, I'm scarred, because it was at a time when it wasn't cool to be Nigerian. You know, growing up, there was a time when people would like, hey, a lot of like, you know, stuff like that.
Hi everyone, welcome to Truly Talkative Podcast. I'm your host, Eno Craigren. I thought I knew like 100%.
98%.
What is this?
There's a reason for everything, but there's not a justification for everything.
No, let me start going where I'm coming from.
That day is like I'm playing and then they come here. Come here. Yes, you.
Hi everyone, welcome to Truly Talkative Podcast. Today I have two lovely sisters. We have Asha Bello, who is the fun creative director of Cheeky Monkey and also the founder of Accra Parents. And then we have Alima Bello, who is the Gone with Fabulous creative director of Bello Edu. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Emma.
Yes, so today we will be discussing sisterhood, firstborns versus last.
Middle.
Yes.
I'm a middle.
Oh, you're middle.
I'm middle.
Okay.
Because we have a brother. He's the last.
Yeah. Okay, so he's
the last of the girls.
Okay. But you're still the last sister.
Yeah, the last girl.
Last girl. Okay. So the African in me really wants to start with the firstborn.
Okay.
So, Alima, let's start with you. Alima, what was it like growing up?
Like between what age?
You start like from the very beginning, like
So
from the time you can remember.
Growing up, like maybe up to about even the age of being university, I would say it was a very different relationship between my mom and I.
Okay.
And a very different relationship between my dad and I.
Okay.
So with my mom, it was more like you're a firstborn child, you're a lady, you're like, you're supposed to be like a living example for your siblings. So as a lady, you only speak when spoken to kind of situation. And like, you have to hold the candle, be this example. I remember her older brother would say to people, oh, Alima's it. If you put her in the fire, she won't even scream.
Oh,
yes. Okay. That's how it's described.
Yeah.
As opposed to my father, when my father would go for parent-teacher interview, my father was only concerned about, is she asking questions in class? Is she participating? Is she being vocal?
Okay.
So it was very different. It was very, very different. So depending on who I was dealing with my mom, I was meant to be like, obey all the rules, be the lady.
Yeah.
Be the fancy middle-class lady.
Yeah.
And with my dad, better go out there and fight for yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody's fighting for you.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
Okay. And Asha, how was it like for you?
Honestly, like, it was only until I was an adult that people started asking me, well, what was it like growing up, And I'm like, was this supposed to be something? No, because it was normal. There was no, like, I did what I did.
Yeah.
All I know is that I wasn't a shy child. I was very outspoken. You tell me something, I'm going to speak my mind. My grandmother got it. My mother got it. My dad, like, anyone can get it. That was me. But then my sister was very quiet.
Okay.
So I used to think, she's so weird. And then, so like, she used to do this thing where she'd give us eyes.
Okay.
Oh my God. So we'll go out and then maybe we'll just be living our lives and she'll be in the corner judging. And I'm like, oh, she's so boring. Like, I know she hated me. And I actually I loved just tormenting the life out of her.
Alima, are you hearing this for the first time?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a sport. I loved it.
So I'm guessing you guys didn't get along growing up.
Oh my God, no.
Okay.
We didn't get along even up until when? University.
No.
It was quite
No,
passive.
high school. No, in
No.
high school. When I went to secondary school, she was in third year. I went
Well,
as a
that's
first year
different.
student, and she was very like, okay, well, I think I just used her maybe. She was very protective.
No.
She was very protective.
So in secondary school, I was just living out my responsibility because from day one I've been told you have to protect your sister. No matter what she does, you have to protect her.
Yeah.
So this girl comes to Form 1 and I'm in Form 3.
So you're 2 years apart.
2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And all my friends in my dorm, everybody is protecting her.
Okay.
I mean, the school was nice enough to let her be in the same house as I was in.
Okay.
I think it was a connection. It was
Yeah,
it
it has to-
nice.
yeah, no,
Let me take that back. It was daddy.
Yeah,
That everything that
yeah.
It was daddy and my sister. May she rest in peace.
put them on blast.
I know. But she ended up in my house, it's in Maria's. And my friends in my dorm, everybody rallied behind her. So even if I wasn't around, you dare not call for Asha Bello.
Wow.
Like if you need a 4-month girl to send, why are you looking at her? Don't even make eye contact with her.
Okay.
Because she had this thing planned to a T. Asha will start crying on the spot. Look, just call her. And she'll start crying. Asha then decided, like, she was very smart. Asha's always been that smart child. Like, she'll find a loophole and, how to get away from the system. So the house that we were in, Form 2s had their own bathhouse. Form 3s had their own bathhouse, as opposed to all the other houses in the school.
Yeah.
And Asha realized that if you were a Form 1 girl, the only way you avoided the main bathhouse was if you were sick.
Okay.
So every week she was sick.
Wow.
Every week.
I know.
Every week.
First of all, the main bathhouse didn't have doors. Okay.
Didn't. True.
Didn't have doors.
I was in the same
And
school. So I remember.
it was huge.
Yeah.
And nobody showered towards the end. I tried to go to the end. People pooped in the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
And going to secondary school, I was very even now I'm still that way. Like I'm not someone who I can just undress in front of anybody. It doesn't matter if it's a female, I can't just undress like that. So it used to be very uncomfortable for me. So when I realized if I can be sick and I can go to the front and I can be sick.
Yeah.
I was always sick and I used the front to my house. And then I had Form 2 people go, hey, Form 1 girl, what are you doing here? I won't say anything. I'll just bath in my cup when I'm done. What happened?
Yeah.
Sister, blah, 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 said this. And I was like, what? Go ahead for me.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Wow.
I mean, survival.
Yeah.
When she left, you were now in Form 2.
Oh, yeah.
Students. So I mean,
Untouchable.
okay.
She was a star athlete, so
And also, I was the senior that, I didn't disturb anybody. Because I said, this is so stupid. What's this whole bullying thing? I wasn't there. I said, don't call me Sister Asha. It sounds so dumb. Don't call me that.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
Just call me Asha. I want to say that I was a cool senior.
Okay.
And then I was an athlete as well, so
Yeah.
I got away with so much.
Yeah. No, but now that we've touched on secondary school, let's talk about that. What was your experience? What were your expectations? And then what was your
of
experience?
secondary school.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever read any of Enid Blyton's books, like Sinclair's, Mallory
1 or 2, yeah.
Towers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my expectation. And my mother did not debunk those expectations. She knew better. Because my mother went to secondary school in Cape Coast. And she knew that whatever I was asking her, that was not my reality. But this woman kept quiet and kept on saying, yeah. You can ride a bicycle. You can go for piano lessons. So I went into secondary school Form 1 thinking it was going to be this experience.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn how to play the piano in school. I can ride the bicycle. Only for me to wake up. After one night, a Form 3 girl comes to my dorm and says, you're from rich school, Kumasi. Come. So she was from another school in Kumasi, and then we went to a very small private school in Kumasi. So she says, come. She was going to sweep the patio. My immediate response was, but where are the cleaners? I kid you not. And that sounds very dumb, right? It does, no. My immediate was like, where are the cleaners? She said, wait for me, I'm coming. She went to gather her friends. I went to gather a few more Form 1 girls. I said, repeat what she said. I said, You asked me to clean.
Yeah.
I said, why the cleaners? Because I have to get ready for school.
Yeah.
As far as I was concerned, it's
Yeah.
morning time.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be in my uniform. I'm supposed to be heading
Yeah.
to the classroom. I scrubbed a gutter. I swept before I left. And then what another shock was, went for dining and they served kinky, got kinky. And they said we have to finish our meals. I'm like, I can't finish it. So it was a shock.
Yeah.
I never settled until I finished Holy Child.
Yeah.
I didn't settle.
Yeah, from some of the conversations we've had, I can tell that
I never
still very
settled.
traumatic for you.
Very, very traumatic.
Oh, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, and then she would tell you that when I was in form, and I used to write letters home every week.
Oh my
Then my
God.
dad should come and pick me up. And they used to discuss my letters during dinner. And my father came to Cape Coast one time and said, Alima, you need to stop writing. Because you're not
It's
leaving.
coming.
You're going to finish the school. So just stop writing.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. The whole 3 years. And I tell anybody who is prepared, like my year group, we're hosting speech day in March.
Okay.
And the only thing I'm grateful for is the friendships that I made.
During that
Other than that, I don't think the school imparted anything special. I don't think this whole thing about girl-child education and, being confident ladies, no, the school didn't instill that in me.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of things to say about Holy Child and that whole education and that whole experience. But at least I'm grateful for the friendships that I made, because I made some solid friendships that I still carry with me till today.
I mean, I would say that secondary school is shocking,
Extremely.
but then it's also, it builds you in a way.
Perhaps.
Yeah, in a way, I think it builds you. Like for me, Asha mentioned the bathhouse issue, right? And I remember the first day I went to the bathhouse, I was like, wait, where are the shark heads? And
Do you understand?
why? Like it's built in such a way that, I think it's like how many stalls? I think maybe about, maybe, I don't know, 30, whatever.
Yeah, it's a whole lot.
The main one.
That's the main
You
one.
see, the main one where there were a lot of girls standing there
That's what I'm
bathing.
talking about.
It just reminded me of Escape from Sobibor.
That's how it was. So you are facing each other.
Concentration camp.
I'm like, it was like a concentration camp. I was like, first of all, I was like, wow, there's so many stalls here. And
You know, let me say something. So when I finished Holy Child, because I was a sports girl, we had to go and do the regional athletic, whatever. We went to Fijai. Fijai Secondary.
Okay.
I mean, I'll save the conversation for another. That's like, listen, we thought Holy Child was bad. This was after I had finished though.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if we had just finished and then we just packed our stuff and went there, or
I think so. Yeah, you didn't go straight home.
I
You
didn't go home.
You went straight to...
No. Listen, for them, that was the real concentration camp. They literally had a wall, like a big, not even like a tall enough wall. And the girls, like you could see 50 to 100 girls from the house where we stayed. I'd be upstairs looking down and it's just a bunch of girls with buckets. So it's an empty space and that's where they shower.
Wow.
At that point, I was like,
let me thank God for where I'm coming from.
And then,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
And even like, it's a mixed school. So I'm like, so some random boy walking past can just climb the wall and look.
Hey.
Right.
You know, and for me that, again, saying that I wasn't comfortable just sharing with girls.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And what house were you in?
So I was in St. Catherine's, Quincy.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. All that time, I know. The mice, right? Yeah. It was a lot.
Look.
I remember.
Mice.
Yeah, because
Yes,
you see,
Quincy has lots of mice.
right below Quincy, we have
kitchen.
Home
the
economics,
kitchen.
the kitchen.
So they were cooking, leaving, like leftover things like that, and then of course it attracted like the mice and stuff. So it would like people are like running because there's a mice, there's a mouse. I'm sorry, there's a mouse. People are running, like someone is trying to kill it. Like it was a lot. It was a lot.
No, Holy Child, someone, let me tell you. So, I don't know if your time they had that thing where they will assign a Form 1 girl to a Form 3 girl.
Yeah.
The Form 3 girl I got assigned to, she knew I couldn't do jack for her. So when there was like water problems, she would call me and be, Alima, bring your bucket. Because she knows I'm not fetching water for her.
Wow.
That's how confused.
So you had it good.
Yeah, you had it. No, you had it good.
Good school mother.
I mean,
Yeah,
I know my school mother was. I didn't
I also remember the first one. Yeah. For me, I was assigned to it was a Form, well, at the time, I think it was Form 2, so I don't know what happened, but I was assigned to a Form 2 girl, and I felt she hated me. I think, I don't know what it is,
It's crazy.
but I was like, I got there the first day, the checkered, whatever, the house print.
Yeah.
Was wearing that, and then pink slippers.
Okay.
That,
Pissed her off.
yeah. She called everyone. why am I matching?
Ah.
This was what I was given. And I was on my way to the bathhouse. So she escorts me there. We get there. And then, you know, they walk you through how you're supposed to bath. So hang this year. And that's what they told us. Like, hang this year, do this. You go fetch water from here, do that. So I'm there. I'm just like, I'm like, okay, so I should just like strip in front of everyone.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, it's time to bath. I take my clothes off. I take out my sponge. And at the time, my mom had given me bathing gloves. They were like, what is this? They called everyone. So imagine you are naked.
And they call everyone. That's bad. That's bullying. That is
terrible.
So bad.
It was right in front of everyone. I was like, they were like, bath, let's see.
That's shaming.
Yeah.
That's shaming.
And then you're bathing and obviously got his gloves. Hey, look at her. She's touching herself. I'm like, it was really bad. It was really bad. Form 1 was...
Form 1 was traumatizing. I have a few Form 3, like, ladies who were in Form 3 when I was in Form 1, that today, if I see them, I walk past. Because the experience was horrible. Out of nowhere, somebody comes and says, you come. There's a boy I like in Ogasco, but I saw him talking to you. Why? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And she goes like, kneel down. She let you kneel down on the car park and leave you. I'm like, what's going on?
Like, and the car park too, it's like...
Yes.
Gravels.
Really
I mean, that was 100% not my reality.
Because you were lucky.
Honestly, I was lucky, but I feel like I finessed a lot.
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you. Going into sports, I knew I was like good at running. So I was 100% going to be a sports girl. But then I also became a mass server. Because mass server don't do social duty. So when I wake up in the morning and my friends are scrubbing and they're sweeping, take my bag. I've gone to the chapel. Then I go and sleep behind the chairs. Catch more sleep, you know.
Wow.
So we just rope and we serve. And after serving, we drink some wine. That's what I did. What? And I used that to survive. Like, because I used to think, so if I'm here for 3 months, every morning when I wake up, I have to do a chore.
But you see, that behavior, that finessing, it wasn't something that she developed in Holy Child. That's something that she did from childhood.
Yes.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
So growing up, when we were like Holy Child age, my mom made sure that even though we had a housekeeper every single time, I had chores that I was responsible for. She had chores that she was responsible for. So, and especially during vacation, my mom would go to work. My mom would work, come home around 5. And my mom expects that when she comes home, the whole house is neat. You know, so we're cleaning up. And then 5 o'clock, you hear the car horn. By that time, I'm tired because I've been cleaning up the whole day. And I like to just lie down and read. So I'll be lying down with a book. She hears the car horn. And as soon as you open the door, see there's a staircase. And then little miss will be standing by the staircase with a napkin over her shoulder, holding a dustpan and a broom. So the first thing my mom sees is she's that like, precious daughter of hers.
It's cleaning.
It's cleaning. And the lazy one, the firstborn, is
laying down reading.
Every day.
Wow.
And my mom walk in and be like, Unyan, I don't know clean. I will hear that it pain. It did no Unya can not clean.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't give you room to even explain yourself.
Yeah.
So that's how she survived growing up. To the extent where
take a page out of my book.
Even Saturdays we're meant to clean by a certain time. And Asha would clean whenever she wanted to clean. And then my mom would ask her, like, why do you do things when you want to? She's like, you know you have to clean the house by a certain time. Asha says, but who's coming to your house unannounced?
It's like, yeah.
So that person too, why would they come to your house without calling you first?
Yeah.
Says, but mommy, what you need is the house cleaned. You need the front of the house swept, and I've done it. Doesn't really matter the time that I did it. Yes, she used to always go back and forth with my mom, and my mom would say nothing. To date, I'm 41 years old.
She chased me around the house once.
So what?
She chased me around the house. Okay.
See, I know, like I said, I'm 41 years old.
Yeah.
There's some things that right now I can only dream of saying to my mother.
That she gets away with.
She's already said them to my mother.
Yeah, she gets away with.
She gets away with it.
Yeah.
And that's been the parenting. My mom a few years ago actually said, Asha pose a minimum as more. Bibi okebia na mijizi. Yeah.
So did you feel like she was the favorite child?
Oh yeah. I mean, growing, maybe primary school to JSS, I felt like, okay, I honestly felt my mom didn't like me.
Okay.
I honestly believed.
She
Yeah.
wanted to leave the house.
Oh yeah, one time
There
you
was
packed up my
there's a
stuff.
time- there's
There's
a
a
she packed her
story.
stuff. I was like I was just telling her, like, hurry up and leave. Like, she packed her stuff. She went outside onto the porch. Then I ran to my mom. Hey! Go and see Alima's outside with a bag. She's trying to leave. I was like, shut up. That was the first time. I was like, shut up. If it wasn't because of you, would she do that? And I was like, what did I do?
So you thought like she was too uptight, like
she was
she
too
takes
uptight.
life
Oh my
too
God.
seriously.
She did.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah. So I mean, how growing up, like I'm talking about like as an adult, right? How do you feel like that sort of impacted your relationships, like friends, your dating life, all that? Like you were uptight, weren't you? Do you
I
admit
am still uptight.
you're still uptight?
I mean, I wear that badge with an honor. I'm not even shy about it.
Yeah.
The question is, was I born uptight or was I conditioned to be uptight? So I don't even know the difference. I just know that I am the way that I am. What it did help or what it did do is my best friend is also a firstborn child, female child. So we relate on a lot of things. Her younger sister, the middle child, is just like Asha. Kukwa pretends not to know anything or do anything, so she doesn't even get asked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Gabby and I, that was our first connection in Holy Child.
Right.
That's what got us together, and we've been best friends since then.
Misery loves company.
I'm like, they talk about you guys a lot. I mean,
We used to.
Yeah.
Now we're over them. Now we're over them. We're like,
yeah.
Their mothers have spoiled them.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way at all. Because my mom still checked me. My mom checked me a lot. She did. But so, again, a lot of the things that Alima had been dealing with, I didn't know. It was when we were adults and she talks about it, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
looking back,
Yeah.
I can see how it looks,
Yeah.
you know. But at the same time, you cannot scare. Like, the way that I am also benefited her because in situations where she's passive, I'm like confrontational, and I get it done.
Yeah.
I said the one thing that I always use for an example is when
The UK.
we went to back in the day when you had to queue 4 a.m. and things.
the High Commission.
UK High Commission. And I remember we didn't even go that early. We went maybe at 7 or something. And then there was like a stampede, whatever. Everyone started running because they think they called out a queue that wasn't the queue where everybody was queuing.
Okay.
And we were already trying to figure out, hey, Charlie, where we go? The way I ran. So I was an athlete. I ran. When, not to the front, but I was right there, like, I stood there. My darling sister. Slow.
Yeah. Lady.
By the time she got there, the queue had gone far. I said, come. She's like, oh no, it's okay. Like, I said, we're doing that thing together. I said, come. So, dragged her to stand next to me. And she stood in front of me and some people were like, hey. The way I fought them.
Yeah.
I said, stand there. And you could tell that she doesn't want the smoke. Like, you know, and I'm like, I'll take all the smoke. So then, she was there in the queue. Within a few minutes, we were called and we went inside. Because other than that, if I wasn't there that day, she would have been in the queue beautifully for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And that's like a bare example of situations where the way that I am has benefited her. So I think we complement each other.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not complaining now, am I?
But what do you think about like her personality today? Like, given all the things that have happened over a period of time, like what do you think about? Like, do you really think that it has been helpful for you? Do you think
Our personalities?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, completely. We complement each other. There's nothing about my childhood that I would change. All I do know is that when there was so much presumed strife because I felt I was not liked, not even understood, not liked in the family. Because my mom, it was a thing where my mom wouldn't listen to my side of the story. Right. It was always about her. I only got peace when my dad was home.
Okay.
So, even that time, if you told me that, Asha and I we're gonna grow and be this close, I don't think my mom would even have believed it then if you told her. Because there was like, we were like night and day.
Yeah.
We just didn't get along. So I kept to myself. She did her own thing. And mom used to even pass comments like, the way you guys are fighting, I'm afraid when you guys grow old, you'll not be close like the way my sister and I are close.
Yeah.
But now, Asha and I, we actually have a healthier relationship than my mom and her sister.
No, because now you're old enough to know.
Exactly.
Yes.
But we have a very healthy relationship.
Yeah.
We respect each other's personality and each other's choices. We're not judgy of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is that you want to do, go do it. Just know I'm here to support. Like if somebody brings some flack your way, just let me know. We'll be there.
Yeah. Oh, so now you're a bit more confrontational.
No, I'm not confrontational.
Okay.
I'm not the confrontational bit. With me, it's as my mom says, give them a long rope to hang themselves. That's my personality.
Okay.
And then when the cup is full, the cup is full.
Yeah, that's true.
Asha's more of, I see you coming with your bullshit and let me stop you right there. She won't even give you the opportunity to even give her a tenth of the BS.
Yeah.
You'll get checked.
Yeah.
With me, I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe you have psychological issues. Or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that, or maybe it's that.
Yeah.
And then you just keep on unraveling. And by the time you're done, and I feel like, nah, this is it. With me, there's no turning back. See, Asha's actually a softie. That's the difference. So she would check you. She'll do all of that. But if you went back to her and said, yeah, I effed up and I'm sorry and I'm this. Yeah, she could actually excuse.
No, that's me 100%.
But I'm not
like,
that type.
yeah. Oh, so you would like
when I'm done.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. When I'm done, I'm done.
I'm very forgiving. I am.
Yeah.
I forgive, but then you don't get back into the fold. So that's where we're different. And that's where we're able to complement each other. So we're able to fight each other's battles. So when and maybe she has a situation with somebody or something, I can tell her from my point of view, the way I analyze things, I can let her know. And the way she analyzes things, there are situations that I've been in that I know, like if I call my sister, you will be dead.
Yeah.
Like if she shows up right now, she will smoke you.
Yeah.
So for your own sake, I am not going to call her. So by the time I unleash Asha on you, you know that it's done.
Yeah.
So that's where we are now.
Yeah. And then now both of you are moms. Okay. Asha, let me start with you. So you have been a mom longer. Your first is how old?
He's turning 9 in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's 9, 7?
9, 7, 3.
Okay. You're very playful as well. Like you're fun. You're playful, you're fun, you're So like being a mom, how like your upbringing, like I mean I'm talking about like not upbringing, I'm talking about like your childhood, how you were, like you were very, I don't know what the word is, but then you were very like you were smart, like in terms of
Witty.
Witty,
Yes, very witty.
Being a mom, do you feel like any of your kids have picked up some of these things, and do you feel you're parenting yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So obviously I had the first 2 boys. Aspen came along like 4 years later after Hendrix.
Yeah.
And I thought Roman was a bit witty because he's very quick with it.
Yeah.
Hendrix kind of like he keeps it to himself.
Okay.
It takes a while for him to warm up. So when it comes to like social life, Roman is close enough to my character.
Okay.
But then along came Aspen. I don't know where that boy came from, but listen, he is 100 times more than me and 100 times more than his dad. He's crazy. he's a wild child.
He's your lesson.
So definitely yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But then at the same time, as much as Hendrix keeps to himself, Hendrix is also my second child. And being a second born, the things that he does, I call him the victim. And they laugh because they're like, well, he's a victim. What do you think you were like 30 years ago, I mean, Hendrix has never done any wrong.
Yeah.
Every time somebody is afflicting him, he, complain about something somebody has done. He's scheming. You never expect it, but he's already schemed and plotted.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God.
This is me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Roman is, the overly friendly, and that's also me. So it's crazy how all 3 of them have a bit of my personality, some more than others. So yes, I do feel like I'm parenting myself in many ways. But also the way that I also parent is, I want to believe it's quite different from my parents.
Okay.
Because I feel like my mom was a screamer.
Okay.
Oh God. She was a screamer. She screamed at everything.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom same.
And a lot of my friends say the same thing. So I think it was a generational, and not that when I had my kids, I spoke to myself and I'm like, I'm not going to do these things. I just find myself moving away from that. Like, I don't want to scream. I don't want to do all of that because I see how it affected me. And I also recognize that my inner voice is actually a screaming voice.
Oh.
I don't blurt it out. I scream sometimes, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But my inner voice, like if I wouldn't check myself, I would be constantly reacting by screaming, just like the mother. So I see that part I'm very conscious of. I try.
So let's just take it about how do you think the screaming affected you? You said it affected you in what way?
I just hated it.
Okay.
I hated the fact that, because sometimes I would say it anyway. I want to say something to my mom, but I'm just like, "Ugh, I wish I could just tell her without hearing her like yelling, you know. I'll still tell her anyway. She'll scream and I'll tell her my peace of mind. I remember there was a time, I don't know what I did, but I was talking back. And she's like, hey, I'm from crying now. I'm talking to you and you're talking back. So next time I speak to you and you speak back, I will spank you or something. I'll hit you on your back. I said, I'll hit you back.
Wow.
I said, and at that point, I think I was like 12 or 13. I said, if you touch me. And that's how she chased me around the house. That was what I said.
Wait, but where did that audacity come from?
I don't know.
Yeah, where
I don't know. But where did that audacity come from that you're going to lay hands on me?
You see, and even the fact that you're asking this back, where did it come from? Because see, as Africans, you get me, as Africans.
That's how it was. It's my blueprint. Because I couldn't also process you're going to violate me by hitting me because I spoke my mind. So you want to violate me.
But let me interject here. We also have a father.
Okay.
Who was pro speak your mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that he had that kind of upbringing. My father and my mom's upbringing are complete worlds, opposite worlds. But my father was always advocating for us to speak our minds. Yeah. So my father will patiently watch an encounter between Asha and my mom and not interject. He will not be that man who will be like, hey,
don't talk to my
yeah, that's your mom.
You watch it. You watch the whole episode unfold, and then you'll be like, "Yeah, and you should say this, and you should do that, and that's it." And then you'll leave it.
But he was also the dad that actually apologized to us. If my dad will say something out of pocket, or he will yell, or sometimes he would even cuss, and 5 minutes later he's coming and he's like, "I'm really sorry that I said these things. I didn't mean it. I was very upset. There's no reason for me."
Yeah.
And my memory goes all the way back to, let's say, class 4, class 5, of him apologizing. And I would tell my friends and they'll be like, your father
apologized.
Yeah.
And my dad did not have that. My dad was born to a Nigerian man who is I think he was, I don't know how old my granddad was when he had my dad, but I feel like he was
50.
Yeah. So he was, what time did he have for him? My dad's mom died very early on in life. So it's he's kind of like me where I feel like he's gotten older. He knows this ain't it. I don't want this. Mm-hmm. And so he was consciously doing better than what was done to him. Yeah. And that's just how, my parents were fabulous. I just didn't like the screaming and
yelling.
All of them.
So your dad was full Nigerian and then your mom Fancy.
But my dad was born and raised in Cape Coast, so he speaks Fanti.
Oh, okay. What tribe?
Yoruba.
So do you guys go to Nigeria? Do you identify with your Nigerian side?
Once,
okay.
But she's been
okay.
I mean, I feel like we acknowledge the Nigerian side a lot. We love it. Growing up, not so much for me, because in school, I remember when I was in class 6, one of my teachers, oh my God, I don't know, he saw on my registration documents or whatever, and we're in class and he's like, I like it. And I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
My Nigerian name is Alake.
Oh.
And so Alake. And then everybody's like, what's that? Your Nigerian name, Alake. I know. The man destroyed me, because even till today, some of my friends be like, yeah, Alake. Listen, the guy, I'm scared, because it was at a time when it wasn't cool to be Nigerian. Growing up, there was a time when people would hey, Alatafo, stuff like that, in a very derogatory manner. So then it was a thing. They teased me.
Plus, it also didn't help. I mean, we're Nigerian, we're Yoruba, and we also have Islamic names because our grandfather was a Muslim. And growing up, it was always whenever we would go anywhere, introduce ourselves, Mufri. So I have this aunt.
Alima ni Aisha.
So her name is Asha. They made
Asha, Aisha.
Asha.
People would actually
And
tell
they
me,
insist
your name is not Asha. Your name is Aisha.
Yeah. And then I'll say my name is Alima. No. You're from Alima too. Like, no. I was named Alima. I understand some people are called Alima too, but I am not Alima too. So I have an aunt, and she even had it. So whenever she would go anywhere with us, I omudi no mo nyankri before omo fish stream omo yemfante for omudi no. So there was like everywhere you went, everybody would question. It's like, what is wrong? Even if I was, what was wrong with it?
Yes.
I remember in level 100, University of Ghana, a TA, with a group of girls surrounding him, says, "Oh, what should I mention my name?" Says, Oka Hausa. And I said, no. Yeah, because I'm named Alima.
Yeah.
I'm with you, sir. Move your throw banana, move back from Mukasa.
Oh, yeah.
So this was me pro, like, after Holy Child, when I found my voice, I'm like, okay, you're going to learn today. What I did to him.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you?
Yeah, but I don't know, I think Ghana, there's something about us that it's almost like, the older generation, I mean, they have to insist all the time when it comes to whatever they think it is. Like, if this is what I think it is, whatever you're saying is like, they would insist.
Yes.
And
100.
And for me, I even see it in your bio. I mean, your bio reads, not Aisha, not Asher, not,
because people will tell
Asha.
you. People want to tell you.
Listen, the treasurer from our school, I went to that school for 13 good years. Ridge. Mr. what? Mr. Waje. God bless him. I don't know where he is. We loved him. But this guy, every time he'd give me the school bill, Asha Bello. My dad will come. Her name is Asha. 13 years. Every time. He would not acknowledge it. Like, your name is Aisha.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
It's weird. Alima,
Weird.
I want to move to you and your parenting today. I know your son is Ayo.
Yeah.
So he has a Nigerian name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's because you're Nigerian, but why did you choose?
Oh, so many reasons. Well, obviously because I'm Yoruba.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to. I feel like my dad hasn't had the opportunity to actually showcase and live his Yoruba heritage fully. I don't know why I feel that way. It's just something, I don't even know if my siblings feel that way.
No, but so when I had Aspen, I remember there was one random, maybe Aspen was about a couple of months old, and he called me, he says, can you add Kola to Aspen's name? I said, for what? He said, no, Kola is my grandfather, so that's his dad's name. He's like, and then he's like, because like, I feel like he's like, nobody has really carried, the Nigerian, and I just feel like I want one of my grandkids to have, I want to honor my dad that way. I said, okay, no problem. It's not on any of his documents, but sometimes I call him Aspen Kola.
Okay.
So he does have that.
Okay.
Unofficial, Nigerian. But I understand, because Alima's relationship with my dad is also very, very different from, everybody knows. The same way that she says, me, I'm a mommy's girl.
She's a daddy's girl.
Girl.
Yeah.
So even what she's saying, this is a sentiment he's never expressed to any of us.
Okay.
But there's always been something I've always felt. So when I was even getting married, I made sure we did it the Yoruba tradition as opposed to a fancy tradition. It's just something that's very important to me. To carry my father's heritage, my grandfather's heritage. That's number one. And number two, Ayo is my rainbow baby. So I wanted a name to signify, like,
what does it mean?
It means my joy has come.
Okay.
So I knew from the moment that I carried him, and especially when, in my head, mentally, I went past my 6 to 8 week mark because my first miscarriage was within that time. I was like, okay, he's here to stay. And that time I told myself, I'm going to give him or her a Yoruba name. I'm going to carry that heritage. It has to be their middle name. And I'm also obsessed with my surname, Bello. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to carry. So that's why Ayo has a full Ashanti name, his first name.
Okay.
But the Yoruba name is so dear to me.
So that's his middle name?
Yeah, that's his middle name. And that's what I call him.
That's what you call him. Yeah.
So that's why I give him those names.
I don't know. It's so strange how right now I'm at a point in my parenting where I wish my boys were not like David and Drew.
Ah,
And they had like local, I mean, they have local names.
yeah.
But I don't know, now all of a sudden,
Yeah,
I kind of wish that
I feel
DJ,
you.
he's a Monday born. My husband is half, well, he's Fancy, Ashanti and all that, but then we could have named him Jojo. So it could have been David Jojo and DJ would have, stayed,
Right.
Yeah.
But now
not
it's
too
like
late.
David, yeah.
not
I
too
mean,
late.
yeah, we are thinking we might,
It's not too late. I understand you.
yeah.
I remember a few other people, when I was pregnant, people close to me would say, oh, would you give him, I don't know what they say, is it English names or Christian names? And I said, what does that mean? What is a Christian name? Like I will put people in the corner like that. Like, what do you mean by a Christian name?
Yeah.
Like, oh, would you pick a name from the Bible? I was like, oh, like a Jewish name. Like I'm not Jewish, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't resonate with me. All I know is that I want my child to have a name
Yeah.
from his culture.
Yeah.
So his father gave him an Ashanti name,
Mm.
and I remember I was quite insistent. Like, let's find like a deep meaning Ashanti name to mold the character of the child. That's how I am. That's my personality.
Mm.
But all along, I knew, because Yoruba names have such powerful names, and Yoruba names have meanings.
Right.
So I knew, whatever name the dad would bring, I knew in my heart that I would still call him by his Yoruba name. So I get that sentiment because I feel like, yes, David is a beautiful name,
Yeah.
but it's not from you. So I can understand
David,
how.
well, he was
you-
named David because his dad is David, his grandpa is David. So it was like,
Right.
yeah, it had
Yeah,
to happen.
It had to happen.
It had to happen.
So I get that.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
that, but it's because it's not part of our culture. And
Yes, now I'm kind of like, I'm loving our culture more.
Yeah.
Because my daughter is Ohima. I mean, she's Elise, her first name, but she's named after my mom. But no one calls her that. Everyone calls her Ohima. And that's the other thing. I've loved the name Ohima for years.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted a girl.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this makes so much sense. She's the queen. She's the
Perfect.
queen.
Yes, yes.
She's the queen. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the stage of parenting that I'm at now. Just to kind of wrap everything up. Now you guys are close. I mean, yeah, I can see that, I know you guys are starting a podcast soon. I'm saying this so that you guys actually start the
Oh my
podcast.
God.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
You guys are starting a podcast soon.
Accountability.
Yes.
It's gonna happen.
Yes. And I'm loving the relationship. Do you feel that you've gotten even closer because you're moms now? How are you guys like supporting each other in this journey?
I think so. I think yeah. You don't think so? Because Asha says she's Ayo's real mom. So
That's
since the day Ayo left the hospital, she'll call on video and be like, "Hi, it's your real mommy."
I feel like Asha is a menace. Like Asha, yeah, like she's a menace. Like,
So he actually reacts. Like every time, if he hears my voice, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, but
"Hi, mommy."
it's the same voice. You guys have the same voice. What are you talking
Okay, that's true, but no, I think you can tell the difference.
And if there's anything about if there's anything about Ayo, the first person I'll call is not my mom. I'll call her
Okay.
because my mom. Yeah, my mom and I love my mom to bits.
Yeah.
But I feel like my mom triggers me a lot.
Still
Today,
yeah.
So there's a lot of coping mechanisms. Like my mom was with me for 3 months
Yeah.
when I was born, and I had to learn to bite my tongue
Yeah.
because the Alima now, post Holy Child, Alima doesn't bite her tongue anymore. Alima says her feelings, and I feel like my mom can't handle it.
But I don't think you do it all the way because it was the same. When I had Roman, she was trying to push her own agenda, like do this, do that. And I'm like, no, we're not. This is what we're doing. And then one day she actually had an outburst. She was like, hey, do you people not like me around? And at the time we were even still in South Africa because Roman was born in South Africa. We came back to Ghana when it was about 2.5 or 3 months. And I remember her like saying, if you don't want me around, because everything I tell you, when I'm advising you, and I said, your advice is all well and good, and I take what I want to take. The rest, I also want to kind of do what I want. Not, it's the things like, I can't even think of an example, but it was always, she's trying to push something.
Yeah.
No, do it this way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at the time to first mother, you want to read your books. Like you're a nurse, but
Also, your
I'm
mom
not
is a
doing this
nurse. Okay.
that's what I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
She was like, damn, like, why am I here? Because
Yeah.
I'm here to bath him. I'm here to massage him. And I'm like, don't do that. And I used to scream my head. I
Yeah.
remember when Hendrix got circumcised and we were in the bathtub, the gauze was sticking to his thing. And my mom is like, you should put like warm water just to kind of like free it up. So we're doing it, and the boy is screaming. And listen, it was doing something to me.
Yeah.
And I'm in the bathtub with her, and I'm like, okay, can you just stand here?
Yeah.
And she's all over the place. Like, I can feel her on my body. And I'm like, get out!
You see, I could never.
And she was like,
Yeah.
she was so confused. I was like, please leave. Please, I need you to leave. And then
I could never do that
Wow.
to my mom. Never.
And she
Under
was,
no
yeah.
circumstance.
she was mortified. Like, huh?
Under no
Yeah.
circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot do that to her. And I remember I would call her and be like, oh, Asha, the passive aggressiveness in this house, like my own house
Yeah.
with the baby. I'm like, she would have said it happening to my mom, but me, I'm like,
Yeah.
let her do what she's
Like, she
doing.
goes to work and she's late. Like, okay, so she left the house with my mom. Well, she left Ayo with my mom in her house. And she has to quickly run to the studio and do something. And she's, okay, I come back at 6. Something has happened. She ends up at 7. And then she said my mom will be giving her like all these looks. Me, you should look. I'll be like, is everything okay? Are you okay? What's wrong with your eye? Why is it twitching like that? Are your eyes okay, mom?
No, it's
You
like
know?
you were a Gen Z before, like not Gen Z. Let me say,
Yes.
let me say actually Gen Alpha. Like you,
Yes.
you are,
Now.
before your time. Yeah. No, because
completely.
this is what this is what we say about our kids.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've had an interview with I think it was Gifty Auntie who was talking about how she gave her daughter the eye. And her daughter was just, Mommy, what's wrong with your eye? And she was like, I'm giving you eye so you stop doing what you're doing and you're asking what's that's Asha. You see? So I'm like, wow, you were. And I think it always shocks our parents anytime. Because I remember my mom using the cane on my little brother, and my little brother grabbed the cane. She was stunned for they don't have a plan B.
They don't.
Yes, it's,
Yeah.
so when he held it, she was scared of him from that day. I will never forget it. So my brother and I were both like, so this is like we didn't know,
that's what it
and
is.
that's the thing, we didn't know. We were
Because what is she really going to do?
Exactly.
we,
She's not gonna do
we
nothing.
don't
Let me
think
tell
that
you,
way.
My mom pained me one time because she used a ruler because my uncle bought Horlicks. I mean, picture 1999 or whatever. My uncle bought this Horlicks.
Yes.
The thing was nice. I sat on the kitchen counter. I just took one scoop and I couldn't stop. I ate the whole jar.
Wow.
My mom came up from work. Give me Horlicks. What is it? Horlicks. I said, it was me. It's okay. She called me to her room. She said, she took her ruler. She said, it's Ahi. It was 8 or whatever. I said, 8 years. So give me your hand. Pa, 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 pa. Pa, 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 pa. And then I said, you finished. And I left. The next thing, she's on the phone. Hey! Afraid.
It became family news. Like
Wow.
Asha took that thing and said, "Are you done?" and went away. I'm like, so
I said, eating Horlicks.
So like I said, mother, you wanted your child to cry.
Yeah, that's
Are you okay?
That's it.
Oh, Horlicks.
Hide the Horlicks.
My
Not to
thing
be the
is,
child.
my thing is that generation didn't know how to manage their emotions.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how do you get angry?
No,
Like,
this is my theory is our parents are very traumatized.
Yes,
From
from that time.
traumatic
Exactly.
upbringing.
Exactly.
The stories that my mom told me when I had Roman, I was like, so you waited until I became a mother before I was worthy enough to hear the things that you went through with your stepmother, And I'm like, oh, let me find out that you're broken.
Yeah.
Now I get why you act the way you act.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a story that
And we don't know
your
like the
mom-
half
your
of it.
mom has-
we don't know how
We
to
don't know. My mom, even last week, my mom told me something else. I was like,
oh my God.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
They didn't know any better.
They didn't know any exactly. They didn't know any better. Plus, if you think about when they were moms, and I mean that's around where we are, right? You realize that we don't know it all.
No, we
So
don't.
they also didn't. I mean, they were also growing.
Yeah.
So like there are all these dynamics to it. I mean, it's. I think it's really just a long journey. And even now,
It is.
she's still parenting you in a way, and you're
100%.
in a way.
It is a long journey. It never ends. But then I just wish that they could be more open and trust that they could actually sit down with us and bear it all.
Yeah.
And there'll be no judgment.
Yeah.
That's what I wish for them. Like, they'll be more open, because like she's saying, if you hear my mom's stories, my mom lost her mom when she was 5, and it affected her so badly. She slept in her father's bed until she was 11.
Wow. Wow.
until she went to boarding school. So that should tell you how it had affected her.
Yeah.
And then she had a stepmom come in, and it wasn't such a loving relationship that they were used to. So you would think that if my mom had shared that bit of her, she had been vulnerable with us and shared it with us
Yeah.
at a very early age.
Yeah,
It would
but
have helped.
she probably thought you couldn't
I'm not
handle
trying to
it.
burden you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Number
don't-
also-
one, and
and
also I don't think they also even understand like how that experience has shaped them,
Yeah.
and they don't even understand that that experience is responsible for the way they react
Yep.
and act.
Yep.
And they project
And they
a lot.
project a lot.
My mom projects a lot.
Oh yeah, my mom does too.
Yeah, and I had to realize it for myself and then tell her that
yeah.
you know that you're projecting some of the things that, let's say you were bullied about something and you see those features on me. Now, all of a sudden, in order to protect me, you're telling me things. I'm talking about my forehead. My forehead, my mom's like, no, mention Ponida.
Hey,
And so growing up, I was very conscious.
forehead.
It's now that I was like, where's the forehead? It's now that I'm seeing the forehead. But, she was bullied for that. So because, in order to protect me,
Right.
and now you've made me, like, you make me insecure.
Self-conscious, yeah.
Now I'm like, this forehead, okay.
yeah.
Things like that, So I had to tell her, I'm like, this and this and that. And I said,
but she didn't set out to make you insecure.
she didn't. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the intention is great, but it's the
delivery.
approach, the delivery. It's always, that's,
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure our kids will also have something to say.
Oh,
I'm
plenty.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I feel like
Plenty.
But I feel like we live in a generation, like when I see the way the boys and Asha interact, there's no fear of questioning and of, engaging their mom.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's such a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
When I see my brother's kids interact with them and they're able to voice, even at such a young age, they can actually voice their opinions.
Yeah.
I always say it's such a great time. I'm so happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we're doing things differently, but then I'm quite sure they will also grow and be like, yeah, you guys are weird.
Yeah. You guys were sharing too much.
You guys were sharing too.
Yeah.
That'll be the issue.
But I feel like our kids are more assertive.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love that for them. I love that for them.
And I love the fact that now we have words to everything. Like we have words for some of the things that we felt and some of the things that we went through.
Exactly.
So now they didn't have words. And even when we were growing up, we didn't have words. We just knew this wasn't right, but what is this feeling?
What are you going to say it?
What are you going There's
Yeah.
no outlets.
Yeah.
Except Asha. I mean, Asha did. She
Look, she used to take my
was
mom's
different.
lipsticks and write on the mirror. Don't be shouting at me. Don't talk to me.
I hate this house.
Yes. It's like your lipstick.
Yeah.
Your mother's lipstick. She'll write on the mirror. Then I'll be in university and they'll call me. Call your assistant advice. I'm like, huh? Why? What's
Yeah.
happening?
Well,
in
what's
the house?
happening?
I just turning the
No,
house.
actually, like I went through a stage where they got on my nerves, and it was all because my dad, he put this thing in my head that when I finished Holy Child, he was going to fly me to the States and I'd go to school, blah blah blah. Had me write. I studied and wrote SATs, passed, and then when it was time, he said, "Hey, we go to Legon." Like
That was
why?
that's my
Is that how?
story.
Is that how?
Oh,
Is
that
that how
happened to you
to? Is
too?
that how to play somebody?
SATs, everything. I did everything. They hid the letter. The acceptance letter came, hid it. My mom also knew. I wasn't talking to my mom for months because I was like, I thought we were closer.
Yeah.
When I found it, and
Yeah.
my dad's only explanation was social capital. So what does that mean? He said, when you go out and you come back, your mates would be like heads of this, heads of that. And you wouldn't really basically, I wouldn't have any social capital. I wouldn't have someone to say,
Okay.
oh, my daughter wants this. Can you put the person here because we went to school together?
Right.
For him, it was university is where you build that. Secondary school, all those things. Most times people leave after school. Maybe
Do you
they
understand?
don't.
Okay, so that's fine. But
But-
be honest.
Be honest. And also, why did you waste my time?
Yes.
So you were going to take me.
I said, bring my leg on forms. My dad filled it too. I didn't do anything. I sat there. He filled the form. I said,
Yeah.
my finger will not touch the paper.
Yeah.
He filled the form himself.
Yeah.
And then went and got the admission.
Yeah.
And then came and said, okay, you've been admitted to do science. I said, oh, science. Okay. I did 1 year science and I changed. I went into
Oh yeah, in that conversation, even when she was changing, my father was like, no. He said, do you want me to continue school or you want me to quit?
Shut.
changed.
Yeah.
I changed.
Yeah.
I said, no, I didn't come here to suffer. I'm not going to medical school. My dad was like, you're going to put you in science. Then by year 3, then you do the exam. Then you be a doctor. I said, me, I can't even look at blood. You don't even know me. I changed it.
Yeah. I think they had their own agenda, but I mean,
They did.
for me, that took a while for me to get over. Like it was, I think, and again, it was the intention was there. It was good, but unfortunately they live
Very
here.
helpful.
But I'm happy that now we are where they are, and now we kind of understand them a bit.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy.
You get to accept them for who they are.
Yeah.
And realize that, parents are not superhumans, they're also human beings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank
We'll
you
all
for
be looking out for that podcast.
Oh,
We'll be looking out
Hello.
we'll be looking out for that podcast. But anyway, thank you guys. I'm sure you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, tap on the notification button so you don't miss an episode. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this post. Bye.